Well, I think that what's going on is that we're navigating a difficult place right now because the world economy isn't doing so well. China is way worse than people think still. There really could be some kind of developing market debt crisis in the fall, and that's got markets really spooked. On the other hand, the U.S. economy had more momentum going into this report than we thought after like the GDP revisions and so on. And so I think that we're in a difficult place, but I'm pretty confident that this number is strong enough, especially with the unemployment rate, to get the Fed to move. And I really do think we need to stop this rent control and bond markets that we've been engaged in and try to move back to a kind of normal economy. And if we do that, then I think there'll be a sort of sigh of relief economic rally.
5.1% is significant because it actually fell inside the Fed's estimates of where the unemployment rate could be around full capacity. But the truth is, we still haven't seen wage growth pick up. And so I think that those estimates are really being called into question. I think that the unemployment rate can go lower before we actually see.
But the average hourly earnings number was okay. I mean, we're finally seeing it move a little bit stronger in just the last 3 months or so.
You're right. I was happy. It was positive news on the earnings. But still, year on year, we're only 2.2.
Right.
I mean, we're flat. We haven't seen nearly as much wage growth as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, that's typically things that investors look for when there's not a lot of expectations going in, and maybe there's something that encourages investors. But there really hasn't been any great patterns as far as where the stock has run up or how much it's run up in front of the quarter to determine how the thing's going to perform the day it announces, the day after, whatever. And as you pointed out, Gurman over at 9 to 5 Mac has done such a good job at basically unveiling all the details that it's really hard to surprise investors on what's going on. I mean, the headline is just going to be, hey, the new phone's out, and then we move on to the next catalyst, which is trying to predict how many phones they're actually going to sell. And as we all know now, the whole issue is whether they can grow on that massive number from the December quarter of last year of 74.5 million. So, tomorrow, like it typically is probably, anticlimactic as far as, the movement in the stock. I mean, overall, the average is basically up plus 0.2% ever. And the only time it's really had a massive move is the very first iPhone when it was up, over 8% in 2007.